The Beverly Hills Hotel, December 15, 2024. Hollywood's biggest night that nobody talks about. The Industry Achievement Awards. Not the Oscars, not the Golden Globes, but the ceremony where the real power players gather behind closed doors. Keanu Reeves had just been called to the stage to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award for Humanitarian Excellence. The same award that had been given to legends like Paul Newman and Audrey Hepburn. The room erupted in applause as he walked up those velvet-carpeted steps. But then something happened that no one saw coming. As the presenter handed him the crystal statue, worth more than most people's cars, Keanu looked at it for a long moment. The ballroom went silent. You could hear a pin drop. And then he handed it back. "I can't accept this," he said into the microphone, his voice steady but emotional. The audience was stunned. Phones started coming out. This was about to go viral, and everyone knew it. But why would Keanu Reeves, the man who gives away millions, who bought Harley-Davidsons for his entire stunt crew, who took a 90% pay cut so his Matrix co-stars could get raises, why would he refuse a humanitarian award? The presenter stammered. "Mr. Reeves, I don't understand." Keanu stepped closer to the mic. What he said next would be replayed millions of times across every social media platform. "You want to give me an award for being a good human being? But there's someone in this room who deserves it more than me. Someone who's been invisible to all of you for 20 years. The cameras panned across confused faces. A-list actors, directors, producers, all wondering where this was going. Keanu continued. "Every day for the past 2 decades while I've been on movie sets, there's been someone making sure I had everything I needed. Not my assistant, not my agent. The woman who cleaned my trailer." The room was dead silent now. Maria Gonzalez. She's worked for this industry for 23 years. She's cleaned the trailers of every major star. She's heard our complaints, our breakdowns, our fears, and not once has she ever shared a single story with the press. People started looking around, trying to spot Maria in the crowd. She's put her 2 kids through college on a cleaner's salary. She sends money back to her family in Guatemala every month. She volunteers at a homeless shelter every weekend. And when my mother was dying of leukemia in 1999, Maria, who barely knew me then, brought homemade soup to my trailer every single day for 3 months. Now you could hear people sniffling in the audience. She never asked for recognition, never asked for anything. But when I won my first big paycheck, you know what she did? She congratulated me. And when the paparazzi was hounding me during my darkest period, she made sure there was always a back exit clear for me. Keanu's voice cracked slightly. This woman has shown more humanity in her daily actions than most of us show in our entire careers. The camera found Maria in the back of the room. She was in her uniform, having been working that very event. Her hand was over her mouth, tears streaming down her face. "Maria, can you come up here, please?" The entire ballroom, filled with people worth billions combined, erupted in applause as this small woman in her 60s slowly made her way to the stage. When she reached Keanu, he hugged her tight and whispered something in her ear that made her cry even harder. Then he turned back to the microphone. "Maria doesn't speak English perfectly. She's told me she's embarrassed by her accent. But you know what? She speaks kindness fluently. She speaks compassion fluently. She speaks compassion fluently. She speaks humanity fluently." He held up the Crystal Award. "This belongs to her. And if this industry really cares about humanitarian excellence, then we need to start recognizing the people who actually live it every single day, not just the ones who can afford to donate what amounts to pocket change." The standing ovation lasted 7 minutes, but here's the part that really went viral. After the ceremony, someone recorded Keanu in the parking lot. Instead of getting into his usual motorcycle, he was helping Maria load cleaning supplies into her beat-up Honda Civic. "Mr. Reeves," the person filming called out, "that was incredible what you did in there." Keanu looked up, surprised to be filmed. "What I did? I just told the truth about someone who deserves to be seen. But you gave up a major award." "I didn't give up anything," Keanu interrupted gently. "I gained something. I gained the chance to show the world what real excellence looks like." He finished loading Maria's car and gave her another hug. "The award was never mine to begin with," he said, walking toward his bike. "It was always hers." The video ended with Maria driving away in her Honda Civic, the Crystal Award visible on her passenger seat, catching the light from the street lamps. Within 6 hours, Maria Gonzalez was trending worldwide. Within 12 hours, a GoFundMe for Maria's retirement had raised $2.3 million. Within 24 hours, 3 major networks had offered Maria her own talk show. But you know what Maria did with the money and the fame? She used it to start a foundation that provides college scholarships for the children of service workers in Hollywood. She called it the Invisible Heroes Foundation. And Keanu? He became the foundation's first major donor, but he did it anonymously. The only reason we know is because Maria accidentally mentioned it in an interview 6 months later. He told me, Maria said in her beautifully accented English, that the best awards are the ones you give yourself by lifting up others. That night at the Beverly Hills Hotel changed something in Hollywood. Award shows started including categories for behind-the-scenes workers, studios began recognizing their service staff publicly, and Maria Gonzalez became one of the most beloved figures in the industry. But the most viral part of this whole story? It turns out that Maria had been keeping a journal for 20 years. A journal filled with stories of kindness from people like Keanu and cruelty from others. When publishers offered her millions for those stories, she declined. Some stories, she said, are not mine to tell. But the story of how one man changed an entire industry by simply seeing me? That story belongs to everyone. The last video that went viral from this whole saga was taken at Maria's retirement party 2 years later. Every major star in Hollywood was there, but the moment that broke the internet was when they played a video message from Maria's grandson, a recent graduate from USC Film School. "Abuela," he said on screen, "you always told me that the most important person on any movie set is the one who makes sure everyone else can do their job. You were talking about yourself, but you were also talking about Keanu. He made sure you could do yours, being seen." In the final shot of that video, you can see Keanu in the background, not at the head table with the other celebrities, but at a corner table with Maria's family, helping her great-granddaughter with her homework. Because that's who Keanu Reeves really is. Not the guy who refused an award, but the guy who made sure the right person got it. And that is why the internet fell in love with this story. Sometimes being a hero isn't about what you accept. Sometimes it's about what you refuse to accept, like a world where good people go unnoticed. What do you think? Should more celebrities use their platforms like this? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that restore your faith in humanity.